fight the power. We got to fight the powers that be. Elvis was a hero the most, but he never meant to me. You see, straight up racist, the sucker was simple and plain. Cause I'm black and I'm proud, I'm ready, I'm hyper, I'm amped. Most of my heroes on a piano stamp. Sample all look like you look and find nothing but Redneck for 400 years if you check.
Don't worry, be happy.
Was a #1 jam. Damn if I said you could slap me right here. Get it.
Let's get this party started right.
Right on, come on. What we got to say? Power to the people, know the lay. Make everybody see in order to fight the powers that be.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reggie Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother, Wildman Teddy T,
What's
a.k.a. Byron the Moundbuilder. What it do, what it does.
It is hump day, everybody.
Yes,
The
indeed.
day that we must encourage ourselves to get over. Just like the heat. We have to get over the hump. We have one more day on Friday.
I think that's the last day for the Heat on Friday, bro. You know, shout out for the Heat, man. We love our Heat, but you know the Heat without Dragic, you know, going against two of the top 5 players in the NBA, and then you know your boy Rondo. You know, Rondo's, you know, playing out of his, well, I ain't going to say playing out of his mind because he's always been one of the smartest basketball players, one of the best point guards. But, you know, just having that type of generalship at the helm, just too much, man. Just too much. And, you know, it's like when our boys is doing it, you know, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, when they doing it, we love it. But when you know, Kelly just, you know, come around the screen and just come around the screen and just shooting wild 3-pointers from 30-footers, wild without setting their feet and whatnot. It's just like, bro, it's not looking good. It's just not looking good. So, I mean, I'm very proud of the Heat, and maybe I'd be more upset if we could actually go to the games and witness the games, but I just appreciate the entertainment, and they're going to be the last team standing. You know, that's it. I mean, that's, what do you think? Who's going to be upset from the Heat when they lose? I mean, really, nobody expected that.
Nobody expected them to be there.
Not this year.
Yeah, nobody expected that. But yo, this is the Ask Mathis show. I'm Reginald Mathis, and as you guys know, my brother Wildman Teddy T, a.k.a. Baron the Moundbuilder. And then we have our technical guru over here, brother DJ Newkirk, you know, who's in there getting this thing together and getting us right, you know, for this broadcast, Sundays 11 a.m. on Video Mix. So y'all make sure y'all tune in right after Fox News and Meet the Press. Y'all can come right in there at 11 and find out the real deal. You feel me? So, man, you know, we had couple deaths that took place. You know, we always talk about the lack of diversity on the airwaves. And we talk about the lack of diversity on the airways. I think that's specifically, you know, a time, an ode to a time, ODE, ode, you know, like ode to an Grecian urn. It's like an ode, you know, to times of yesterday where, you know, when you turn on the radio, you're going to hear Michael Jackson, you're going to hear Stevie Nicks, you're going to hear, you know, Genesis, Phil Collins, you're going to hear Commodores, you know, you're going to hear just a myriad, a diversity of music. Nowadays, you know, it's going to be the same, you know, if you listen to country, that's all you're going to hear. You listening to R&B, old school, that's all you're going to hear. You listening to rock, that's all you're going to hear. But there was a time, man, that I grew up in the 80s, bro, where we actually had, favorites that nowadays I can't see it really happening, for people who grow up that way. And I'm talking about the passing of one of the great legends, Eddie Van Halen of the group Van Halen. And, anybody who grew up in South Florida, probably in the country, but that album 1984, bruh, is still probably one of the top selling albums of all time. That album was awesome. Of course, led by the mega hit Jump. Might as well jump. But that sound that you hear, dun 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 dun. That's, bruh. Eddie Van Halen will come in and then just start, just that distinct sound on that lead guitar, bruh. But my favorite Van Halen song that I still play to this day, Teddy T, is this record called Panama, bruh. It's so, I love the song, bruh, because it has a breakdown in the song. And like David Lee Roth, the lead singer at the time, Sammy Hagar, I wasn't a huge fan of the Sammy Hagar years. I was a David Lee Roth Van Halen. I like the original guys. But David Lee Roth, bruh, is rapping on that, he rapping on, and then you just hear my dog, Eddie Van Halen, man, 65 years old, lost his battle with cancer. But, before the internet, that was a big deal when he married the lady from The Actress. He married the actress. Remember, what was she on? Not Give Me a Break, but she was on the sitcom.
Yeah, Benelli, what's her name?
She was on the sitcom, and she played the younger daughter of the mom who just got divorced, and she and the two daughters, the older daughter and Eddie Van Halen's wife, and she was a little cutie, brunette cutie, and that was before the internet. Like, that was a big deal. But Teddy T, you got that Panama, bro, that we can play for our listeners out there, man. It's called Panama, and rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen, bro, 65 years old. Shout out to his son Wolf, who joined his band. But Eddie Van Halen dead at the age of 65, man. Definitely, you will be missed, man, but your music will live on.
I'm so excited that I got to show.
Right. So, while we queuing that up, bro. Oh, you got a live version, okay. No, that's Slash. Oh yeah, Billie Jean. Yeah, that's right, bro. That's right. Yeah, right? Oh wow, okay. DJ Newkirk, boy. Earning your pay today, boy. Came in there and bought out that. You gotta get to the breakdown, man. This gotta be the live Junkyard version. Here we go right here, DJ Nico.
It's hot tonight. Down the valley, she the road up ahead.
That's Sammy Hagar version. That is Teddy T.
What's the name?
I'm gonna reach down.
That ain't David Lee Roth.
David Roth.
Yeah, man, they ain't sound
I'm
right.
gonna get Nicki Minaj to help me ease my seat back.
That sound like Sammy Hagar, bro.
She's flying.
David Lee Roth. Billboard Awards 2015.
Well, why you sounding like Sammy Hagar? Why you put on all that weight? Maybe these vocal cords, man. So we can get a little of that Beat It, man. Since DJ Newkirk brought to our attention that Eddie Van Halen is on that Beat It. Wow, I forgot that, bro. Thank you. Thank you.
They told him, don't you ever come around here. Don't wanna see your face, you better disappear. The fire's in their eyes and their words are really clear. So beat it, just beat it. You better run, you better do what you can. Don't wanna see no blood, don't be a macho man. You wanna be tough, better do what you can. So beat it. But you wanna be bad, just beat it. Beat it, beat it. No one wants to beat it, beat it. Show it how funky, strong, like that. It doesn't matter.
One more, you know.
No, that's cool. No. It's, bro, you already know Michael Jackson. As soon as they hear that, it's shut down already. We might as well restart the broadcast right now, bro. We got to splice this together with some of the other things, man. It was, that's what we doing, bro. So, shout out to the Marlins, man. They got to get back on the horse, man. They could not deliver yesterday. Could not deliver. And looks like they're getting a little antsy, going against them Braves. Them Braves they don't play the radio. They almost got physical, almost got into a little fight. So tonight, y'all know what it is, man. It is the vice presidential debate in Utah. It's going down tonight. Kamala Harris, the challenger, against Mike Pence, the incumbent vice president. He's the one that's the, he's.
So, you want to try it again tonight?
Well,
Or you want to wait for the next?
Well, because see, the thing is, Kamala doesn't have any. I haven't watched her enough
to know her.
to know like what she gonna say. But we should have done this at the town hall the other day down in Miami.
I didn't know it was here.
Yeah,
I watched it. I was like, wow.
So Joe Biden was in Miami day before yesterday and did a town hall, and he was like, "Here's the deal. And when
He said it
Jim
live.
Carrey spoofed Saturday Night Live on Saturday, Jim Carrey did a here's the deal. So, that's tonight, man. And, you really don't get much from the vice presidential debate, but I think tonight we're going to get more than we normally get because of the state of affairs we're in at the moment. We have a president that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right now. And what I mean by that is between the remdesivir and the steroids and all the medications that he's taking, he's saying that he feels 20 years He hasn't felt this good in 20 years, is what he has to say. But but Kamala Harris, this is what she does. As a lawyer, as a trial attorney, as a former prosecutor, as a former attorney general, I would expect nothing less than, for her to, knock out Mike Pence, because the record is there. So she's going to know his record. She's going to have notes in front of her. She's going to have her punchlines together. And I think she's going to go after him the way she went after Joe Biden, quite frankly. Remember, she hit Joe Biden with that, that little girl, Mr. Vice President, was me. I was that little girl that you was trying to deny busing to. You know what I mean? So, and that was friendly fire. So what do you think, I know she's going to be ready. I just don't want her to be, too pumped up where, you just off. And when those lights come on, bruh, and I'm just going to tell you from my little experience, when you're thinking, you got so many things just rushing through your mind and your head when you're sitting at that table. And I'm talking about in a trial. When you're sitting at that table and, from the first time you got to get up, in front of that jury. Like each time you get up, and I learned part of my trial presentation from the late, great Johnny Cochran. The O.J. Simpson trial happened in 1996. That entire year, that was the year that I graduated from University of Miami. And we're just watching the trial almost every day, watching that trial that went on for a whole year. And one of the things that I would watch Johnny Cochran do is Johnny Cochran would not, during his questioning of witnesses, he would not question them from his notepad. But before he would sit down, he would always go back to his notepad to make sure that he remembered everything and that he hit all the points. And when he did not hit a point, he would go back and finish it, which I found was a very, very effective manner, because trial work, part of it is showmanship. I'm just being 1,000 with you. Part of it is showmanship. Like you have to, I know y'all seen those memes going around that says, if your lawyer pants look like this, or if your lawyer wears shoes like this, you going to jail. I know you seen those memes going around. Oh, bro, have you seen any on Teddy T? It's like if your lawyer pants, look like this, and you can imagine the type of pants they have on, just regular pants, but they just, look like what I can't even say it now because we politically correct, but if I was in Pompano, they know what kind of pants I'd say they look like. We used to say they can't drive either, but we can't say those type of things anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you done got those shoes from Ward City, but anyway, we can't say that. But presentation, bro, it's kind of like you can't maintain a person's attention span longer than 20 minutes. That's typically a person's attention span. So when you get up with all this, you're not ready and you just going, like it's a lecture in school, people gonna nod off, including jurors. And the last thing you want is one of your jurors to nod off on you.
Right.
When you get to the point that you really need them to be there for, and they nodding off on you. So that presentation is definitely necessary. And then that adrenaline that's just running through you, bro, you really, it's that adrenaline is crazy. So, I know she's going to be ready. And those cameras and those lights. And then you're going to have Mike Pence, who was a smooth operator, bro. Yeah. He was the governor of Indiana. Prior to being the governor of Indiana, he was in Congress, and he was a very effective congressman that they thought had presidential aspirations. So it's going to be it's going to be a good debate. It's going to be a much better debate than last week between
Gonna be a real
Biden and
debate.
Trump. Exactly,
It'll
as
be a
Teddy
real
said, it's
debate.
going to be a real debate. It's going to
real
be
debate.
They're going to discuss the issues, and Mike Pence is, the thing about Mike Pence done got comfortable, because when Mike Pence first, was being considered for a presidential run himself, Mike Pence had that, dapper Hollywood actor look, suave, handsome guy, and just had that swag, kind of like that George Bush swag.
Yeah.
But now, bro, it looks like he done got very comfortable, and look like he done got that COVID-15. So he got that, he got that waistline that's kind of out there, and like I said, he looked like he's gotten very, very comfortable. And he's probably gone to eating. He's probably doing a whole lot more eating
Than he
would normally do, because every day he's probably just looking at the Twitter feed, and he's just like, man, what is like, man, and he come every time, each and every time, just like there's nothing going, like.
But it kind of seems like he doesn't have any balls.
He does, bruh. That's the
serious,
thing.
like, because he does everything that his president. I mean, Trump asked him.
Right, but but I think he an old school political hack. Old school political hack, which is if the president asks you to do something, you do it. You figure it's your patriotic duty, and if you're going to be on his team, you're going to show and demonstrate the utmost loyalty. So this guy is just in there. Remember, it was Mike Flynn got fired, and the reason that was given is because he lied to Mike Pence. So it's like the thing about Mike Pence is everybody in the White House is just like, it's just like your grandma watching you. Have you ever been babysat by your grandmother?
She raised me. My great grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't speak for your grandmother or great grandmother, but a lot of grandmothers out there, especially who've already raised their children and now are raising their children's children, at a certain time, especially if they work for over 20, 25, 30 years and they home now, they usually have their favorite chair, their favorite couch, and their favorite ritual and routine of what they going to do all day. And the kids are coming in through the back door. You doing all kind of stuff upstairs.
Plastic
you doing
on the couch.
You know what I'm saying? you doing all the things, not to disrespect your grandma, but you like, well, grandma don't know, won't hurt her. And I think that's how they treat your boy Mike Pence. I think with Mike Pence, they got all this stuff going around and he don't even know. Because I don't think he drinks. I don't think he smoke. I don't think he does anything. I think he's eating now. I think that's his vice, is just the eating thing. But, all his morals and all the stuff that he's on, he just has betrayed that stuff, man. He's betrayed it for, maybe they're saying, we really going to reward you for being this guy, because there's no way you would have gotten the entire Republican Party to come to President Trump's defense and aid if he did not have a person like Mike Pence there, who is a orthodox conservatives, a straight conservative, like with all the principles, anti-abortion, anti-tax, anti-government, pro small government, less regulation, all those things. But your man Trump, he has spent more than anybody. He spent more than Obama. He spent more than Clinton. He spent more than Carter. He spent more than all of the Democratic presidents. This guy's come in with his tax cut. He added $1 trillion to the deficit just with the tax cut alone. So you got $1 trillion tax cut. Then we've already had over $3.5 trillion in stimulus. So that's $4.6 trillion that he's already spent. Not to mention all the natural disasters that's going on, the hurricanes and the storms and all that stuff. So this guy has totally ballooned the deficit, which is something that the Republicans traditionally would be opposed to. But Trump is a different type of dude.
Also, not to mention his bodyguards and all the security that they have to spend every time he comes down here to Mar-a-Lago. In the beginning,
they're
he
already
spent like
over
120
million.
In the beginning, I remember.
Yeah, and not only that, they had to go and pay Trump
To stay in his
at,
own
at
place.
Trump Tower because remember, Melania did not come to D.C.
Nope.
for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, and so they had to
So they
have
got their
Secret Service there.
prenup
They
redone.
had to, go in there, and they was leasing to the Secret Service. They had to spend, all this money. I've heard estimates that this guy spent on golf outings and all that stuff alone over 120 million in taxpayer money, taxpayer spending.
Yeah.
And remember how mad they were when the one time in 8 years President Obama decided he was gonna ball out with the first lady. And they went crazy, bruh. I think, they flew to like a show in New York and then they went to dinner somewhere, whatever, and the folks, bruh, they heads was exploding. Like, how could he do that? How dare he go out and spend the taxpayers' money on this and that, and how dare he's whatever. And this guy's come in, bro, with his golf outings and making the taxpayer pay for security at his golf clubs and resorts and all these particular properties, man. It's like the hypocrisy is so incumbent that it's not even worth, really talking about it, man. The hypocrisy is just so crazy that it's not even worth talking about it, man. So one thing that happened, Teddy T, that I know you probably got some little insight on. I know one of your favorite partners, Baby Blue from Pretty Ricky, and it's been alleged that, Pretty Ricky, Baby Blue got arrested, went to court yesterday for this CARES Act fraud, man. Without getting into any details, I don't want you to talk anything details, Teddy T, as you sometimes do. But just anything you want to say to your man Blue or anybody out there that's dealing with, these fraudulent schemes.
I talked to Baby Blue today. He said that everything is cool. He said he's already been in, picked up. He said he did give back the car. And that was his only statement, that the car was given back.
Yeah, man. That Ferrari, right? Was it a Ferrari or a Lamborghini? Ferrari. Yeah, man. I remember, and I went back on your page. It looked like you done deleted some pages, Teddy T, because I remember, after he came here in the mink coat into the studio, then y'all started giving away money to people.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all was just giving funds to people, and that was before COVID.
It was during
That
COVID.
was before COVID.
No, it was during COVID. It was during.
Oh, that was during COVID?
In June.
Ooh.
100 DJs.
Ooh.
You know.
Ooh. Teddy, I don't think you better say anything else, bro. I don't want nobody to subpoena you, bruh. Yeah. Wow. But came in with the mink coat, and then what else happened? Came in with the mink coat, and the house, bruh. It was his house that had the dude in the armor, right? Like the statue or something like that. The dude in like the coat of armor. And I'm like, bruh. So we, our best wishes, man, prayers for, for Blue. That he make it up out of this situation. And to say D. Johnson, man, is the co-defendant. You know D. Johnson, bro?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so they say D. Johnson is the guy that, has been the manager of a lot of places, man, a lot of the strip clubs. And I think they said he was involved at Play, the club Play. Was the manager there at Play. David Johnson, I think they say is his name. But, from what I've heard, bro, they talking about like 200 strippers was their information is what was used to apply for these, loans and applications that they didn't know about, but some of the strippers and dancers ended up applying for their own stuff. So when they end up, apply for their own PPP loans or SBA loans or whatever CARES Act stimulus that they were, you know, CARES Act stimulus, that some of them had already, you know, applied on their own, and so that double up is what triggered, you know, the investigation. And then we had the wide receiver for the Jets who was on IR. You know, this thing is real, man. But it seems like these folks are able to come up with businesses and endeavors that, you know, either don't exist or don't really exist, but people who've been running shops for 10, 15, 20 years were denied stimulus money, you know, or given very, very little stimulus money. And you hearing folks 24 million?
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Multiple companies said one company got over $420,000, and then another company got like another, you know, high six figure check going on. That just lets me know, man, that the people who are administering these loans, bro, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. There's nothing to find out to make sure that the people who really need the money, that's really doing stuff, is getting the money. They just was like first come, first serve, and you get it. And the folks who seem to be most ready to get it were the ones who, you know, was ready to be crooked. You know, and folks is hurting. And then you had the president sends out a tweet yesterday. It's like, man, we ain't doing nothing until after the election. Then after the election, I'm gonna give you guys a big, big stimulus. So soon as he said that, soon as he said that, the stock market plunged.
Crash.
It plunged.
I
like,
lost $300 some dollars on one of my little things.
Yeah, because Kevin Powell, the chairman of the Fed, came out and was saying like the economy needs an injection of capital, you know, from the government. The U.S. government needs to inject some capital ASAP, right now. It needs to happen. So after saying that, our president comes and says, you know what, man, I'm tired of these folks. We offer 1.6 trillion. They at 2.8 trillion. We're not going to get this deal done. So I'm ordering my negotiators to stand down, stop negotiating. As soon as he sent that tweet out, stock market crashed. Then he comes back after the stock market crashing. Then he comes back and says, well, maybe we could just send them $1,200 checks out right now. Just send me a standalone bill for the $1,200 checks, and we can go ahead and do that immediately. That is not a sane guy right now. That is not a level-headed, steady hand that we need right now. Like, we really need somebody with a steady hand that's going to go and, you know, conduct the business of the nation, bruh, and not just, you know, whatever, you know, just whimsical stuff that this man is on right now, you know, just whimsical. So that's what it is. Teddy T, bruh, anything you want to talk about, man?
I mean, you know, everything that is going on is just, you know, crazy. I know I sent Newkirk the thing about when Joe Biden was here, how he told the four ladies that he wished he could see them dancing when they was 4 years old.
What?
He made that comment. No, can you find that?
Meaning what? Like
I don't, that's,
when they was 4 years old?
Yeah, that's what.
Like, is he trying to insinuate that he a pedophile?
That's what they said. Old Sleepy Joe, with his statements once again. You know what I'm saying? It was like, wow.
Bruh, why is it that every time, you know, we keep it 1,000 on the show, Teddy, and we can't do nothing else but keep it 1,000. But tell me this, why is it that every time I watch Joe Biden talk, that I'm just holding my breath? Am I the only one that I'm just holding my breath?
I'm there too. I want you to just hoping that he won't mess up.
Just don't mess up,
Please
bro.
don't mess
just
up.
Don't say nothing stupid.
And then when you hear something like a stutter or something, you're like, all right, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't
right.
like, all right.
Right. What he said, here's the deal. when he says here's the deal, that mean he freestyling. That mean he's shook. That's his safe word. That's his safe phrase. Here's the deal is his safe phrase. That means, man, I'm not as sharp as I used to be. And that's just true. He's not as sharp as he used to be. But he's good enough. He's good enough. And the reason why I say that he's good enough is that we feel that, we feel that he's going to put a diverse set of people out there to come in and get the stuff done. But, I don't even think we had this issue with Bernie Sanders. And I've never been a Bernie Sanders fan. But Bernie Sanders, I don't think anybody's questioning, even though this man had a whole heart attack, but I don't think anybody's questioning his sanity or questioning that he's still sharp and alert. But with Joe, bruh, it just seems to me, Teddy P, it seems to be some kind of medical issue that's going on, bruh, besides the stutter.
Yeah. I mean, let's go back up to the top. It says Biden raises her eyebrows after telling these beautiful young ladies he wants to see them dancing when they're 4 years old.
What website did you get that from, man?
It's Fox.
Man, man, I don't know, bro. That's
They're gonna push their narrative.
That's which is crazy. With all the chaos that was going on, I go to Fox to see what they doing, and bro, they on something totally different, man. And it's, you go to CNN, they either got Dr. Sanjay Gupta on it. Can somebody tell me when the hell does Sanjay Gupta go to sleep?
He doesn't.
This dude be
everywhere.
there from crack of dawn to late into the next morning, bruh. 24 hours. He's a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
He a vampire, bruh. Like straight up. Or unless he built like sleeping quarters. Yeah. In his office, he just turned his office and he probably just got a computer and a bed, and he just goes there in between, takes his clothes off and has him suit ironed up or whatnot. And then he just grew his hair right in front of our eyes.
Right there.
Like right there in his eyes, like, yo, I know he probably cut his hair. This man probably does everything, And he's still having surgery. Mm-hmm. He's still having this dude is still actively operating on people, bro. Yeah. Like, he's a dude that's just like, when you hear talk about never broke again, NBA, that's Sanjay, boy. Sanjay is straight up never broke again, man, because he's like, yo, you never going to catch me slipping, bro. I always got to hustle. I always got a job, man. And you got folks saying right now, and I fell out with Sanjay back in 2008 because Obama asked him to come in into the cabinet, and Sanjay was like, nah, I'm good here at CNN. And I was a little, thrown off with Sanjay. But folks are saying, like, when Trump got hurt and wasn't sure or got the virus, initially contracted the virus, how many people were saying, man, let Sanjay go in there and not help him, but go in there and come and give it to us straight, because his doctor's not giving it to us straight. They like, let him go in there and examine the president, because this dude ain't giving it to us straight. Sanjay gonna give it to us 1,000.
They've been asking why haven't Fauci been called about this at all?
Fauci's been discredited. They've been discrediting Fauci pretty bad.
Man, because everything that Fauci said was gonna happen is what happened. And now they trying to play folks stupid by saying, oh, well, Fauci said this and then he said that, and they said, well, man, when he said that was March. Yeah. That was way back then, but for the last 6-7 months, it's been very, very consistent. Wear the mask, man. Wear the mask.
That's it.
And your folks is coming in there not wearing the mask or saying that the mask is not, fully effective and all this other stuff, man. And it's like, you want to create a narrative, then you go and find somebody that's going to do it for you. So you go and get this Atlas guy, Dr. Atlas, who's a radiologist who just looks good on TV and just coming out there saying what you want to say. But, why have this person vouching, for something? He's not an infectious disease guy. He's just a guy that's just going to come in and, You know, no different than me coming in. I can give my opinion. I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. I can give my opinion. And what good is that? It's as good as this guy that's a radiologist to come in there, you know, because you went to medical school. I had biology. Same deal, right? And Trump is saying, hey, I've had the virus, so you can't tell me nothing about it.
And I got
don't
more
care,
experience.
I don't care nothing about what it says in a book. Well, who cares about a book? I got it. I'm living it, man. I can give you, and I'm gonna tell you real soon. Like everything is like a TV show, bruh. Everything is a TV show. This dude is like, and I'm gonna tell you real soon. Right after these messages, be back in 2 and 2. You know, in college we used to watch Love Connection. You know, that was I don't know why, but that was a really, really big show, Love Connection. And you know, just because of the host was just off the chain. And the host is just a cool guy. The definition of white privilege. And we love dude. Like, we love dude because he just sitting on the couch and he just chilling and he just talking to you about how'd your date go. Right. You know? And he's like, hey, you know, he just like lounging. He just like, hey, if, you know, who did the audience pick? And then they'll go in there.
Chuck Woolery.
Chuck Woolery. They say, who the audience pick? And they'll go in there and say, oh, they picked you. Hey, since they picked him, you know, if you want to go back out with him, we'll pay for it and send it out there. And they're like, yeah, we want to go out. Okay, let's go and bring him on out. You know, that was his job, bro, to sit there and say, well, how'd the date go? And then in between, you say, we'll be back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds. I'm like, wow, bro, how can I get a job like that? How can I get a job? Where they do that at, bro? Well, I could just get a job.
Be with the right crew.
Like that, bro.
Hanging with the right crew is what it's all about.
Man, bruh. You know, he came out early on talking about COVID was a joke. You know, he's a big Trump supporter, which is crazy because we all love Chuck Woolery, man. That was during our Arsenio Hall era. Yeah. You know, we love Chuck Woolery because I think Love Connection used to come on either right after Arsenio or, you know, right after it. And then that's right, Deuce. He says, 40 Jive had it, but look at the folks around him. Not the same treatment. Walter Reed, the masses suffer while he flex. Right. Exactly. I can't say it better. Like if you come out and you raising your arms like Rocky at the top of the steps because you got access to a helicopter gonna take you to urgent care. But your urgent care is Walter Reed Hospital. Well, you got a whole team just assigned to you, and knowing if they mess up, their career is done.
It's the guy you're talking about. Is that the guy from the Love Connection?
Yeah, that's Chuck Woolery. Look, just look how comfortable he looks in there.
Very
bro.
comfortable.
Looks very comfortable. Bro, all you doing is sitting there, and you talking about what it smell like, dog. What it smell like? You get it? You childhood cooking?
Yeah.
And then what y'all do?
He was saying stuff like that?
Bro, it got creepy, but you know it's TV, so you know we would
let it go.
Yeah, see, we had great imaginations. See, nowadays the young people, they don't have good imaginations.
They need to see the pictures.
They got to see the person. They got to see the lady butt naked. Like it's like looking at her under a microscope. You know, we used to be able to, you know, check a lady out and she wearing baggy jeans, baggy things or whatever. You leave something to the imagination. Nowadays, you know what I mean? Like we used to have songs like Gregory Abbott, Girl, I Want to Shake You Down.
Right.
Marvin Gaye, you know, Sexual Healing. You know, nowadays it's just, come on down, pull it out, I'm sticking. You know? But I think Teddy like it nowadays, though.
You know, I go for both. I'm a Libra. I could take it either way. I'm still the dude that talk on the phone with the music in the background. You know what I'm saying? Changing up.
Yeah, but that's cool because you know what I'm saying? You come from that I mean,
in the 80s and 90s, like when you 70s, like you had that, y'all had that cool when you had the phone at
You
the
had
house.
to be cool.
At the crib, but now people got cell phones. Ain't nobody over there
Yeah, ain't
doing
no-
that anymore.
yeah,
Remember, you had a
ain't no
you had
talk
you were a
game.
connection. You had a connection because you was stuck there. You couldn't go nowhere.
Yeah, it ain't no talk game, bro.
No man.
Ain't no talk game
You
now.
know, text took over for that because
Text
now
took
it's
it
the
over.
symbols.
Yeah,
you know?
ain't no talk game.
You up?
Right.
That WAP,
WYD.
where that WAP,
What
where
you
that
do?
WAP at? That WAP.
Hey.
You know, also that Netflix show that you showed us, they said that Texas indicted Netflix on it. The one with the little girls.
With Jeff Epstein?
The show Netflix. I sent.
Oh,
that to you.
Cuties.
Yeah.
Cuties, the dance show.
Yeah, Texas indicted Netflix about
Yeah,
the show.
man, because they don't play that. They probably some kind of pedophilia or something like that, man. Netflix went way out for that, bro.
And they was talking before about like when they have to censor or do they do freedom of speech with a Muslim or Islamic or different people, and they're putting in shows, and then they're putting out something like this. You put this out with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then y'all talking about how
Yeah,
y'all,
because the show itself is cool, but it was the artwork, or at least they were claiming that it was the artwork that was like you producing child pornography. Like, folks are, doing it for the gram, man, I guess is what folks is on, bro.
Yeah.
Yep. So, former national security advisor, just came. I mean, they all endorsing Biden, bro. They all coming out endorsing Biden. Does that even matter? Does that really matter? Folks can return their ballots. I got my ballot yesterday. So shout out to my brother DJ Lover, man. My brother DJ Lover already done voted. He done already turned his ballot in, bro. He's already voted, took his ballot to the drop box. So my plan is to fill out my ballot, but check the date when they have to be mailed in order to be counted. But my preference is to go and vote early voting. That's what I prefer to do. And, show up to the poll. And if the line is not too long, then I'll cancel my mail-in ballot and just vote early. But if the line is long, then I'm just going to turn in my mail-in ballot. But, I don't anticipate being in line for over an hour, bro. If you got to stay in line for over an hour and you got this much notice, this amount of time, this much notice, like I was watching yesterday at all the people, there was a glitch for in the state of Florida to register to vote. It's like, why so many people waited?
1 point something million an hour.
Yeah, right, which I think is the same hacker that was used at the Republican National, well, not the Republican National Convention, but that Tulsa rally.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this guy, Brad Parscale, the 6'8", former campaign manager for Trump, got fired because he had Trump out there telling everybody he had over 1 million RSVPs for that Tulsa rally. And then when they got to the rally, it was like 5, 6, 7,000 people because they got hacked or I don't know if it was hacked. They got
played by these
the same people.
TikTok.
The same people that hacked, or not the same people because it was a 16-year-old, but the same scenario that hacked the Dade County schools when it was time to start virtually, where it made it look like, you had a whole bunch of people trying to get into the system at the same time, but it was just a program that just kept pretending.
I got what the ballots look like.
Okay, so check the ballot out. Anyone you want to go through it? We can go through it.
Mine is in Lauderhill because
no. Well,
go through that.
yeah. So we'll go through.
This is the mail-in ballot. So, but here's
how many folks?
That's the head one.
How many folks you had to vote on, or how many issues, amendments, and all that?
To be honest, I haven't.
All right, so we're gonna go through.
I have a question.
Some of the ballots.
This is kind of sideways. Now they got Donald Trump, they got Biden, then they got Joe Gozerman, Jeremy Spike Cohen. They got Rocky, De La something. Gloria.
Oh yeah,
Who
you
are
always
these
have
people?
a bunch of third party candidates that run. Just like in Tennessee and California, you're gonna have Kanye West. Kanye West made the ballot in some other places. So
Oh, really?
remember in 2000, the reason why George W. Bush won in 2000 is because the third party candidate, what was his name? The guy who was he was the
Independent?
no, he was
No.
definitely independent, but he always
What's
was a
the other
guy. He
party?
was like a
What's the other party? You got the
no. There's you have the Green Party.
Green
You
Party.
have different parties. Libertarian. You have just different people that just make up parties or don't even have a party,
Like
but they
Kanye's-
just allowed to
Kanye's
just
party
run.
was supposed to be the birthday party.
What's the name of this guy?
The birthday party.
You had H. Ross Perot back. That was Daddy Bush, who lost.
Oh,
But
yeah,
what's the
Ross
name? What's the
Perot.
name of the guy?
He made me
He was
think-
the guy, the consumer advocate. He was a consumer advocate with the glasses, and he come in and just
Ross Perot?
No, that was Daddy Bush. But in 2000, this is why Al Gore lost. He lost because all the people that voted for the one guy. If you look him up, 2000 third party candidate in the Florida, he was the guy that ran. I think his name is Michael, but he's
Ralph Nader.
Ralph Nader, exactly. Ralph Nader.
Oh yeah.
He took enough votes because remember, Florida was lost by 527 votes. And if you look and see how many votes Ralph Nader got over 100,000 votes. Like, you look at the vote count for 2000, look at Ralph Nader and see how many votes he had. So, people voting for these people, man, is crazy. It's crazy. Like, this is not the time, like Jill Stein back in 2016, Hillary Clinton lost these close states because people went and voted for the Green candidate, Jill Stein, and had no chance. People with no chance to win, but that's what happens. You always got, people. Back in the day, you used to have this lady, Alani Ufina, this sister who was like, she was a socialist. She ran under the socialist ticket. I used to see her in college. She would come in and be at Club Woody, our library, Club Woodruff Library, but we called it Club Woody because that was the place. It was sometimes depicted on A Different World, but Club Woodruff was the big library that was shared by Morehouse, Spelman, Clark, Morris Brown. So we called it Club Woody because that's where
That's
you
where all
go.
the ladies
You
were.
had Stiegel, you had Stiegel's across the street, which was where you go in there and get that CBS special, that cheeseburger special. You get the cheeseburger and the fry, and a drink for about, probably back then, probably about like
75 cents?
about $2.50, probably about $2.50, as I believe it, man. But then you just, you roll up in the Club Woody. You sit across from some shorty, sitting across from some shorty.
Hey, what's up,
and
you?
bro, you gotta look real studious. You gotta look
Okay.
real studious,
You gotta
but
make sure you do
but every time you just gotta look up. See if your eyes cross. Then you might come on over there, pass a little note. But it was the good old days, man. The good old days, and it's time for us to get up out of here. Appreciate y'all rocking with us
Hey,
tonight. We got the debate tonight.
I have that number for
Right,
for
we ain't
Ralph
gonna wait.
Nader.
That's right.
Ralph Nader received, he ended up receiving 97,421 votes
In Florida, right?
Almost 100,000.
Votes that didn't matter, except to Gore. Now, out of those 97,000 voters, probably 80,000 would have voted for Gore.
But they didn't.
But they voted for. You know what I mean? So folks got to understand, like,
But
every
why waste
vote
your
matter.
vote? But why waste your vote?
Because a lot of people vote on principle. The guy who wrote the book with the big mustache, John Bolton, he's like, I can't see myself voting for Joe Biden, and I will not vote for Trump. He's not qualified, so I'm going to write in my candidate. What is that for? I'm gonna write in my candidate.
That don't make any sense.
You know what I mean? Like that's
It's a waste of a vote.
Yeah, that's like, what's the difference between a snitch and a rat? To be continued. We talk about that another time. Like, you know, people got their little rules for why they do what they do, but at the end of the day, you know, what you're doing is what you're doing.
Right.
You know, you are, in essence, assisting the person that you feel is not qualified. Because if you feel that this person is not qualified, the only person with a realistic opportunity to unseat the person that you feel is not unqualified, you're going to give your vote to somebody else. You know, like it makes, you know, like you got to fish or cut bait.
Right.
You know, you got to decide what you want to do. Don't come in here with all this principle stuff. And I saw him do an interview the other day, man. I'd have punched him in his nose. I'd have punched him in his nose, bro, when it was just saying, like, he was out there pushing his book. He came on MSNBC and he was pushing his book, and he telling the guy, I thought we was going to talk about the book, but all the guy wanted to do was talk about why he didn't come and testify in the impeachment. If you're saying, like, that was just the tip of the iceberg why they impeached Trump, and you had so much information and material, and why didn't you come? Why didn't you voluntarily come? Why didn't you go? I sent them a letter to the Senate saying they was going to do this and all that. Man, he's a chump. He's a chump. And his book, unfortunately, is doing very well. And I was, you know, urging our listeners, you know, not to spend no money on the man book. I guess they did not listen. They did not listen. Teddy, what we got going out with today? Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Rest in peace. Eddie Van Halen, one of the coolest white boys ever, man. Thank you, DJ Newkirk, for reminding us
No problem.
that he did that Beat It record with Michael Jackson. You know we can only play that for a second, but Facebook sheriff put us all in quarantine.
I get up and nothing gets me down. You gotta drop. I've seen the tough so down, and I know that's just how you feel.